Good morning, everyone. Today is Sunday, April 24th, 2022. I'm Crystal Dawn Hill, and I'm here to talk about an interesting experience I'm having today, in which I kind of feel like I'm traveling back in time. Um, Last night, I was watching a video by a lady that I follow, and she was giving book recommendations, and she was asking her viewers to suggest books in the comments. And I wanted to suggest one of my favorite twin flame books that I've ever read, and that is called Heart and Soul by Mary Ellen Guiley. And she's passed away now, unfortunately, but she was known for her writings on the paranormal and such. But this book kind of strayed off of her normal genre, and that she was talking about her personal experience with a soulmate that she had met when she'd gone on vacation. So I couldn't remember the title of this book last night, so I went through a box of books that I have packed up to protect them from the dust and so forth, because the whole box is like there's something special about each book. And this book, I've always wanted to protect it because it's the only book that I've ever owned that I've written in. And for some reason, I felt very compelled to write my personal notes in this book and to highlight certain parts of the text that I wanted to um, make a special note of, that they held significance for me. So, of course, I couldn't read the text because it was too small, because now I'm visually impaired, and I couldn't read what I had written either. And I am using reading glasses right now, and they help a little bit, but I had written my notes very small to fit everything in, and so um, I wasn't able to see it with just my reading glasses. So I decided to make it a project for today, and to use my phone to enlarge the text so that I could read everything. And when I started out from the first page I had written on, um, it wasn't really anything extravagant. Like, I just made like a little note here and there. But then, about halfway through the first chapter, I started writing a lot. Like, the whole margin was filled up. And I noticed a pattern, that the notes that I had written were actually to the person who was my love interest at the time. Now, I've talked about this person, and I don't want to give specifics and give too much about it away, to protect that person's identity. But in my recollection, I knew inside my heart that he wasn't a love interest. I did have a crush on him, but I knew inside that it couldn't be anything more than that. And the notes that I had written to him were in reference to what the author had written, or in reference to something that I correlated with what she was talking about. For example, like a favorite song, or a song that keeps coming up that has significance in your journey or whatever. So, what I find really interesting about this is this person that I had written these notes to Um, I guess at the time I did think that he was a love interest, but I don't really remember it that way. I remember in my mind thinking, um, he's cute and I have a crush on him and everything, but I know that my purpose isn't to be with him. I know that my purpose is to help him grow and help him learn about the journey, because I hadn't, uh, it had been very recently that I had had my awakening, and I was very overzealous about sharing with others. I mean, I still do share with others openly, but I'm not like, forceful about it like I was in the beginning. And I've kind of subdued that, forward energy the way I was exhibiting it back then. So, the reason that I wanted to do a video about this, and the reason that I feel so puzzled about it, is that I would really like your input on this. Is, am I experiencing a Mandela effect, or like a splitting of timelines or something? Um, because my notes would um, reflect an attitude of genuine love and affection for him, and a belief that he was, the one for me. And another reason that this is troubling me is because of how I'm feeling right now about my divine masculine. And it almost feels like I'm the one that's weaving in and out of timelines, which normally I feel like I'm very stabilized in the ultimate timeline for myself. And then I'm sitting back and watching as my divine masculine flounders and, weaves in and out of different timelines, trying to find his ultimate one. It's very troubling for me. And I don't reach these kinds of situations very often in my journey. In fact, the whole time that I've met, since meeting my divine masculine 3.5 years ago, I don't recall ever feeling this way, to where I wasn't where I was supposed to be. But this feels very trippy and very bizarre to me. And you know what the strangest part of it is? A few weeks ago, um, a coworker of mine that I worked with at the time that I was crushing on this guy, she messaged me and told me she keeps bumping into him. And I just laughed it off and like, well, that's really funny. And, how does he look? Does he look the same as he did, or has he changed? And so when I discovered this about this book, I messaged her and told her, but I wanted to share it with all of you too, because I'm wondering if anyone else has had experiences like this, to where they're not questioning themselves of how they're feeling now, but they're questioning their ability to recall past situations accurately. It's so weird. And I know I'm pausing a lot in between, but I'm just really just processing this. And um, I know that it's difficult to sit and watch a video of someone where there's so much um, silence in between their expression of thought. But I think this is where we're going. Um, if you were in my living room and we were having a discussion, of course, in those moments that I'm being quiet, um, the person visiting with me might be speaking during my moments of reflection and contemplation. And it's almost like that's my higher self filling in that space, that someone else might be saying if they were here with me, or, having this conversation with me. And the higher we ascend, the more 3D people that drop out of our life, to the point where we do only have our guides to communicate with for a period of time to help us acclimate to the energy of being in our light body and not having a physical voice or mind, or, all of that is associated with being a human. When we ascend to the point where we're just in our light bodies, that's how we're all going to be communicating, is instantaneously, telepathically. And as weird as this sounds, I think we are going to be traversing throughout different periods of our time the way I'm doing in my mind today. Like right now, I have this book that's helping to take me back to that period in time. But in the etheric realm, we're not going to have, or at least I don't believe that we're going to have those material things from our human life. I mean, there might be objects in that realm, but I don't believe that they're going to be the same objects that we have in our physical reality now. Unless it's, that object is also at such a high vibration that it comes with us in some form. I don't know. I think this is all quite new to many of us, and we're just kind of, exploring new territory and trying to figure it out together, which is why I wanted to share it on here too, to give others a snapshot of what they may be going through, to get insight of people that have already gone through it, and to kind of, have a meeting of minds and discussion about where all this might be leading us as the human race. If I have any other thoughts or anything to add about it, I'll either do a part 2, or I'll write it in the description. But for now, I think I'm going to close, and I will look forward to hearing what you have to share. So, it's a very beautiful day today. It's mild right now, but it's supposed to get hot, which is also kind of weird. That's another timeline thing, because just like 4 days ago, we were getting snow. I don't remember exactly how many days, but it's been about 4 or 5 days now. We were getting snow, and today it's going to be like 84 degrees. Anyway, I hope all of you have a wonderful day, and thanks for following along my journey. I wish you all the best along your journey as well. Take care.